Hi guys, I was on a coaching call recently and I was asked a really interesting question, which is, Ken, what investment ideas would you put money into today for regular, kind of monthly or periodic income? And I thought this is actually a fascinating question because in the current climate with stock markets at historic lows, for example, many people are seeking alternative ways in which they can generate some form of recurring income from alternative different sources. So I thought I'd tackle this question on today's video because I think it's really important, especially if you're somebody who just wants some extra income, month to month, or if you're somebody who is building up some form of an alternative source of income on your journey towards financial independence. My name's Ken of the Humble Penny and Financial Joy Academy. What we do on this channel is give you the tips, the insights, the practical hacks to help you work towards a dream life of financial independence and money joy. Now, when I think about investing, most people typically just think about the stock market, and that's fine. That's not a bad way to think about it. But I like to think about investing as something a lot wider than that. So today's video, you should really hang around because I'm going to share ideas that are slightly kind of off the wall, slightly different ideas that essentially combine traditional investing, what you expect me to be saying, kind of traditional investing ideas, and ideas from my passions about the online world that I think are ones that you should give a lot of thought to as a possible way to generate income in the short and in the long term. Okay, so let's dive in now and explore 5 investment ideas for regular monthly income. Okay, so the first idea I'd mention here is to invest in a multi-asset income fund. Okay, multi-asset income, as the name suggests, the type of fund I'm talking about is investing in multiple assets. It's not just investing in just equities or in bonds or in property or in cash even. It's investing across all those asset classes, but also investing across different regions. Okay, so it's giving you a great deal of diversification. And obviously with that comes a reduction in kind of specific risk tied to individual companies. So that type of fund's ideal because you can then generate income from those different asset classes, whether it's from dividends coming from equities or whether it's from income coming from bonds, that sort of stuff. But it gives you great exposure, but with the entry point being from one particular fund. But this type of fund is also different because it's not a fund that just targets a particular area, for example, UK equities, for example, or US equities, for example. This is a lot more diverse and offers you exposure to a variety of assets. Now, most of these funds are typically actively managed funds, so i.e. someone is making investment decisions on your behalf, and with that comes a bit more money to pay when it comes to investing in such funds. But there are low-cost options, such as exchange-traded funds, that you can explore in order to have this multi-asset income exposure. Okay, a simple search on Google for multi-asset income funds, ETFs, for example, will give you a real insight into what the possibilities are for making this type of investment. Now, the thing to note though with this type of investment is that you typically need a sizable pot of money in order to start to see a sizable monthly income. So for example, if you wanted to start to generate a monthly income of £1,000 per month, and let's say that you generated an average yield or return of say 4%, you would need a pot of £300,000 to start to generate £1,000 per month. So that being 1,000 multiplied by 12 is £12,000 divided by 4% would then give you that number of 300,000. Now, this varies. You don't obviously have to have a pot that size to generate different types of amounts. But the key here is that this remains an option that you can explore from home and start small and start to build up that income and then potentially one day get to amounts such as £1,000 per month or even more, depending on how big your pot size is. The next idea is to invest in dividend-paying stocks. Okay, so you can invest in these directly by putting money into stocks themselves, or by investing in exchange-traded funds. My preference really is the latter, especially in the current climate, because again, it gives you a great deal of diversification, but at a really low cost. So just to expand on what I mean by dividend income stocks, these are stocks, i.e. companies, that are typically blue chip companies listed on a stock exchange that pays you a dividend income periodically. Okay, in the current climate, certain companies have made a decision not to pay out dividends temporarily, but by investing, say, in an ETF, an exchange traded funds that might have investments into, say, 1,500 to 1,600 companies globally, you therefore stand a chance of generating a yield, a dividend yield, in addition to the potential for that particular investment to also go up in value. And bringing together the returns from your investment as well as a dividend yield, you then stand to generate a decent total return. To get started with dividend income investing, you can start to do some research yourself. We've created a course ourselves specifically on dividend income investing within our membership community. For those guys who are members, feel free to check it out. If you're new to what we're doing, I'll put a link below and above for you to check it out. We create a ton of courses, masterclasses, and it's super low cost for members to have access to. So feel free to check that out if that's of any interest to you. Okay, so for the next one, and sticking with the theme of typical investments, is property investing. Okay, so you might be thinking to yourself, why on earth would you think about investing in property in the current climate? And that is a valid question, because things are very uncertain. But to be honest with you, on the back of uncertainty is a great deal of opportunity, and there'll be people who will be benefiting right this very moment by exploring property assets as something to invest in. I personally love the strategy of exploring a house of multiple occupancy, potentially, if it's done properly. I've been a slight skeptic of property. On one hand, I love property as an investment. On the other hand, I really, really hate it as well. Just because, you have traditionally kind of local bias, and investing in property locally means that you are then basically exposed to the ups and downs of the local economy. There are also the headaches of dealing with tenants and all that stuff. But all that aside, because you can actually manage those headaches properly by doing proper vetting or possibly by outsourcing various elements of property investing to somebody else. HMOs, house of multiple occupancies, is an extension of buy-to-let, where you are essentially buying a property and then letting it out. If done properly, perhaps via a company structure for it to be potentially more tax efficient, HMOs, a strategy of property investing, could be something to explore for regular income. But as ever, anything to do with property involves, significant capital outlays, and you have to be somebody who really has an interest in property and also has an interest in learning about investing in this very different asset class. And you're also somebody who maybe likes doing up properties and likes the idea of creating really interesting living spaces for people as a service, and for that they pay you a fee by way of rental income. Just worth mentioning, we've had 2 masterclasses from 2 couples in the UK who currently do HMOs as a strategy. One couple who have properties in Coventry generates a £60,000 profit before tax after paying out all their mortgages and all their costs and what have you. They still generate £60,000 completely hands off, i.e. as an agent managing their properties, and everything works really well. We did a masterclass on this particular couple. We did a different masterclass on a different couple in their 30s, interestingly. So the first couple in their 40s, second couple in their 30s, who generate an income of around £130,000 per year by investing in properties in West London, as well as in the Midlands. Both these masterclasses are available in our membership program. Just mentioning that because I did the interviews myself, because I really wanted to understand and see these properties with my own eyes and see the processes, see what people have gone through, understand their stories, and see the economics of how HMO investing works, okay? We've created this as premium content. If you're interested, again, check out the links below or above maybe to our program if it's something that might resonate with you. Alternatively, simply do your own research, speak to somebody who you know who has done it before, but you want to be getting real answers. You don't want to go and be paying thousands of pounds to somebody because you want to learn about property investing. You really want to genuine people who've actually been through the process, and you are getting the real answers in order to kind of help you take that leap potentially towards becoming a property investor. Okay, so I'm now going to move on to the remaining two ideas, which are online-based ideas. Okay, so when I think about investing, as I mentioned earlier, I think of it a bit wider than the kind of ordinary way you might think about investing. Okay, the fourth idea is to focus on building an audience and serving that audience. Okay, so you might be thinking to yourself, what's that got to do with investing? Well, of course, you are investing a great deal of your time and potentially your money in building an audience and serving them. And the reason I love this, and this is what we do here on The Humble Penny, whether it's on our blog, YouTube channel, membership community, everywhere we show up, we are building audiences and serving those audiences and being radically honest and transparent in all we do, because that's the only thing that actually makes any of this actually work. So by building audience, what I'm talking about here is starting to create maybe some content around something that you are interested in, an area that you have potentially some talent or some passion. By creating that content, you start to attract people. So for example, we create content on personal finance with a particular focus on financial independence. And that attracts people. People love that topic. And by doing that, we listen to what people are interested in, and we create more content that helps them move forward on a journey. The more we share with people, the more we reveal ourselves and our struggles, our journey and things like that, our story, the more we do that, the more we build a relationship with people, we build an audience, and we build trust. And over time, if you do that well enough, consistently well enough over time, people will be willing to pay you for stuff because they know that you are out for their best interests, okay? Consider this strongly as an area of investment for regular income, because there are a variety of ways in which you can generate regular income by serving an audience, okay? I've done lots of videos before on how to make money online and that sort of stuff. I'll share a link to one below and above so that you can check it out and explore those ideas yourself and potentially consider this as a medium term to long term thing. You would not make money from it immediately. That's not really the point. This is not really about making money immediately. It's very important I made that clear. It's about serving people, understanding them, understanding their problems, serving them, and then later on, one way you get rewarded is by you generating regular income from a variety of different sources. The fifth thing I'd invest in is to build an evergreen funnel with a freebie. Okay, you might be thinking, what on earth is Ken talking about? What's an evergreen funnel? What is all this stuff? Well, essentially what I'm talking about here is, in very simplistic terms, you create something that helps people. So you have to be a freebie of some sort. But within that freebie, people go through a journey, a process, which is known as a funnel typically. And by going through that process, they perform certain actions that might lead to you then being paid an income. Okay, so I'll give you a practical example in a second. Okay, so a good example is this. I teach people all the time how to start their own blogs. Okay, in fact, I'll put a link below and above to our detailed tutorial so you can see for yourself exactly what I'm talking about. That detailed tutorial is 100% transparent, it's very clear, and the economics and the mindset around how it works is this. I give you something. Very simply, something that will help you, and this stuff really helps people. But the principle of reciprocity gets to work in that. Reciprocity essentially states that, in very simplistic terms, if I give you something, over time, you will feel you have to give something back to me. Okay, that's how reciprocity works. It's just a law of nature in a way. Okay, so by creating that freebie, which is a simple tutorial, a guide, which took me a ton of time to create, right? I'm basically prepaying my time and my money, because I've had to pay for technology and various things to create that particular tutorial. I'm basically prepaying that to the future such that over time, as lots and lots and lots of people come across that piece of content, I then, as time passes, generate some form of remuneration and so on. So I've spent a lot of my time, which is worth a lot, on creating this thing, and then I prepare that time as people come across that content and maybe buy a service that I recommend or a product that I recommend. I then might be paid a commission or something to that effect by them doing that. So the beauty of doing that is that you are 100% transparent. I always recommend that. So if you look at that tutorial I mentioned earlier, you see there's signs everywhere saying for full transparency, for full kind of disclosure, I basically get paid a commission if you use these services. But people do it and use those services simply because I've helped them, and reciprocity gets to work, and people always want to return a favor. So this is something I highly recommend. And this idea is different because once you do the work, it then lives there and over time generates an income. It works in the opposite way we typically think about making money, which is we want the money now, we want it now. But no, that's not really the best way to go about things. You have to exercise a great deal of patience and self-control and focus on helping people first. Because once you do that, people will know that you are helping them and they will want to help you too in order to move forward. Okay, so check out that example I gave about creating an evergreen funnel. There's so many different ideas related to that, but the principal idea really is that evergreen funnel, that particular set of instructions, is essentially marketing a product or a service. Some people refer to that as affiliate marketing. And by you purchasing something, the person who's created it, in this example I'm giving me, will then receive a form of a small commission. And by volumes and lots of people coming across and doing the same action, that particular commission therefore remains as regular income as time passes. So I typically get, $100 every other day or $80 every other day by somebody, typically strangers, kind of using some of the stuff that we put out and using those resources with full transparency, and we get paid for it. So it's something I highly recommend. Your investment would be in your time, in creating something and researching something, and secondly, in your money, in buying, small bits of equipment or buying some hosting or whatever to help you set up that environment for you to then be able to generate ongoing income from that particular activity. Guys, I really hope that's been very useful in helping you understand various ideas that you can invest in today for regular income. Okay, as I said before, my ideas, I always try to give you guys really interesting ideas, things that are quite different and non-traditional. In this example, I've combined typical stuff you'd expect with a lot of value, with online ideas that I explore and things that we're teaching people day to day in order to help them also move forward and start to generate various bits of income for themselves. If you've enjoyed this video, please make sure you hit that like button because it really helps encourage other people to check out our videos and consume our content. If you're new to our channel, hit that subscribe button and don't forget to hit that notifications bell so you get notified when we publish content twice a week on a Tuesday as well as a Thursday. Guys, let me know in the comments below if you really enjoyed this video, and I'd love to actually know which of those ideas resonated with you. Is it some of the online ideas that I shared, or is it the more traditional ideas about how people typically invest money? Which of them resonated? Let me know in the comments. If you've got further questions about them, I'd love to jump in, help you out, and help you move forward. Take care, guys, and I look forward to seeing you again on our next video. Bye-bye for now. You then stand to I can't get this right. You then stand to generate a decent total return.